Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and hopefully we are not going to have any lobby glitches this time. The settings are correct. I've double-checked them, so if they're wrong, then I'm as much to blame this time, unfortunately. But we are back. We are going from Quali once again, and once again I am joined by Stoob.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hiya.
So, this time we can actually do an onboard lap with a car for the whole lap. How mental is that? I'm on board with Airways, so that's just who we're going to stick with. And here he comes down to the line. Very, very long DRS straight here. You come up and you go back down. You're going to brake just after 100 meters down to 4th gear. Or 5th if you can manage it, and then power all the way through here. Brake very hard down to 2nd gear. Get on the power as soon as possible. Very easy to lose traction around here. But Airways does very, very well there onto the DRS straight. Then you're going to brake at about 100 meters very, very hard down to 2nd gear in a downhill braking zone. Try not to lose traction on exit and get on the power as soon as possible. Flat through here, and then about the curb on the left you're going to brake down to 5th or keep it in 6th if you can, and then hard braking down to 3rd. Very easy to lose traction on that uphill corner, but Airways does very well. Flat all the way around here. Then the board on the left is your braking zone for here. Carry as much speed as you possibly can in 4th gear. Flat all the way through here, and then hard braking zone down to 3rd gear. Try to take the apex if you possibly can. Get on the power as soon as possible. 3rd gear for this one, and then just power it all the way to the line. And that is a lap of the roller coaster that makes you want to be sick because it is horrible to drive around.
Nope. You said you love this track. I don't know why you keep saying nasty things about it.
Because since I said that, I have learned the error of my ways. Basically.
I was on board with Chris for his lap just to see if I could try and curse him, but he still did too well.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Trying to catch his hacks against what it is.
So, our starting grid this time will be Europel takes pole over Aldrich Fabian this time, followed by Chris Bailey, Wookie, Airways, Kid Dynamite, Woomax, Mark H, Anton, and Saviour. Followed by Dino, G-Star Snipes, Triz, Single Track, Smith, Loppy, Hagaboy, Geke, and Doris and Jexter did not set laps. So again, we've got quite a mixed up grid there again.
Take two.
Take two. I think the only person who's really lost out here is Aldrich Fabian, really, who lost his pole, unfortunately.
But it was still a really close gap with like 1.5 tenths.
Yeah. Yeah. It was still an amazing lap by Aldrich Fabian. Can't fault it. And go into the sprint race. Will it be wet or dry this time?
Nope. Sunny as anything this time.
Oh, that's disappointing.
You lucky ducks.
I was so looking forward to a wet sprint.
Yeah, I really wanted a moist race.
Yeah, we love a moist race.
Everybody in the Discord was voting for a moist race.
They were. A lot of people were saying I want it wet, and that surprises me, because if I see a wet race, I just want to leave the lobby.
They must just like it wet and wild. Let's get it going.
Oh, how I've missed you on comms. Oh my gosh. So it's taking a bit longer this time because everyone actually has to plan a strategy this time.
I don't think they do, because we've still only got 11 laps to do here, Simon.
I know, but do you go for softs? Do you go for mediums? I would personally go for mediums.
We proved yesterday that those softs are only going to last you about 6 laps.
The following people are on softs: Europel, Aldrich Fabian, Chris Bailey, Kid Dynamite, Mark H, Anton, Saviour, Dino, G-Star, Triz, Single Track, Loppy, Hagaboy, Geke, Doris, and Jackster.
Well, maybe we are wrong then, but I will be amazed how well these tyres are going to last, because they are awful. Tyre wear around here is
disgusting.
High.
The only medium runners are Wookie, Airways, Woomax, and Smith. I think that's crazy. I would absolutely not go for the soft tyres. I managed 6 laps and I was losing traction everywhere.
Oh, the strategies reckon you'll make it to the end on those softs. But to be fair, your strategy did want you to do like 13 or 14 laps on those softs.
Yeah, that was stupid.
The game thinks it's possible, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, but the amount of issues with this game, I do not trust it with tyre wear.
So, obviously, it's just down to these drivers and their setups.
I mean, it is possible that my setup's just completely wrong and, you know, I just can't drive the car. But, you know, I don't think it's possible. But
that's what I always think it is, to be fair, when I deal with you.
Says the person who quite often asks for my setup.
Nope.
Just saying.
Nope.
I recall it very well. I seem to remember I was at work and I got a text saying, "Si, can you sort my Las Vegas setup while I'm at work, please?"
Nope, I think you're just making up stories now.
You would think that.
Yep, of course I would. There's a big old gap at the end of this queue of cars.
There is a massive gap. Oh my gosh. That's going to take a little while. He's coming towards the line very, very slowly.
Almost. Almost.
Any second now.
A lot of people that can't park their cars as well.
Oh my gosh, we've got 4. Hopefully that's not going to glitch the lobby. Here we go. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are away in Portugal!
The suspense from those lights every time.
Very nice start from Europel. Very nice start from Aldrich Fabian as well. Everyone seems to get through relatively cleanly in turn 1.
Oh, no, there's been an incident at the back. Dino in single track.
Oh, no! But we are carrying on. There are no safety cars. There's no reason to stop the race, so on we go. And Aldrich sticking to the back of Europel very nicely here. But Chris Bailey's putting Aldrich under some serious pressure.
Told you, you have to watch Bailey's car. He's running some hacks with that straight line speed.
I mean, he normally is, yeah. I do not understand how Chris Bailey runs generally very low wings.
0-0 every track, that's what it is.
Yeah, literally. He's like Gav. But Chris Bailey has a lot of points to make up on Saviour today. I'll just take a very quick look at the standings while things are sitting relatively calmly. So in the standings for MRC-X... Oh, my phone's having a moment. Hang on. Oh, my phone's having a big moment. Chris Bailey is 33 points behind Saviour with 2 races to go. So it's plausible that Chris Bailey can still take the title yet.
Well, hopefully, if we keep running like this. Chris Bailey's caught Aldrich Fabian down to turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, and he's right on the back of Europel now, so he could make up a few points just in the sprint race. Because Saviour, yeah, he's
down in 8th.
1, 2, 3, 4. He's 5th in the elite tier.
I'm glad you could work that out. Oh, I was going off there that he was an 8th.
So he's getting 4 points basically, and Chris Bailey at the moment is getting 7. If he can get Europel, he can get that 8th point. But Aldrich Fabian is, again, sticking right on the back of Chris Bailey here.
Those medium tyres definitely don't seem to be slow. So it's literally just going to come down to tyre wear now to see whether everyone that's chosen the softs can actually make them last 11 laps.
Yeah, exactly. Wookie's hanging on to the back of Aldrich very nicely, but he's under a lot of pressure from Kid Dynamite on the soft tyre here. Oh, a lot of pressure.
Bump draft in there.
Oh my gosh. And Kid Dynamite gets through down the straight. I think Kid Dynamite is also running some disgustingly low wings.
People at the minute building some absolute straight line missiles in this league.
They are. But Chris Bailey does, of course, have an advantage today in that Saviour's just got a new wheel, so he won't be completely up to speed with his handling yet.
It's that time of year, innit? Everybody wants a new wheel.
Yeah. Thankfully, I got mine back in like. Thankfully, I got mine back in October. Bearing in mind that I ordered it in like January.
It's not
I exaggerate, but you know.
So.
What do you mean it's not done me any favours? I'm tier 2, you cheeky... I'm not going to finish that sentence.
But Dino, our first person with a track limits penalty.
Yeah,
there.
3 seconds, unfortunately. But again, he's hanging on to the back of Haggerboy quite nicely here. He's just got to keep it.
Anton and Wumax.
Yeah, Anton is closing that gap. Is Anton going to try and get past Saviour and do his bit for his actual teammate in tears? Is the question. Oh, we got a very nice exit onto the pit straight, mind.
The thing I don't understand about this hit straight is how late the DRS is down the straight.
Yeah, you'd think it would start a lot earlier, wouldn't you? Oh, Wumax Adam, Saviour had a little wheel banging moment.
Ooh, that was close there.
And Doris is getting involved. Can Ant get the move done down the hill? He's got the run. Not quite. Closes the door on Doris.
You did well there to get that stop to the bottom of the hill there.
He did very well to get that stopped. Single Tracks had to pit, unfortunately. Assume he had damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if he had any damage for that incident with Dino at the start.
Ooh, Doris is chucking it up the inside! But Ant manages to hold on.
Yeah, it looked like Ant got slightly caught out by Wumax there.
Yeah, I think he wasn't prepared for Wumax's breaking point and Doris could just chuck it up the inside.
Oh, the front Kid Dino had to catch the back of Aldrich Fabian.
Oh, he really is. But Aldrich's got a bit of a straight line missile as well, because Kid just can't close the gap down the DRS straight. Let's jump back to Ant, who is still right on the back of Wumax, but just can't get anything done. You got a nice exit onto the DRS straight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But Doris is having a look up the outside. As Ant keeps it super tight and tries to get the switch back on Wumax, but can't get it done.
Dino obviously not loving Portugal here with another time penalty and single track as well with a time penalty. The boys at the back obviously pushing quite hard.
Well, I mean, for a lot of people, MRC-X is a learning day rather than a competitive day.
Every day is a school day.
Every day is a school day. Oh, someone spun. It was Smith. Very easy to do in these traction zones.
Oh, Kids with a good run on Fabian.
He's got a massive run. They're side by side. He's going to get the move done on the straight. Fabian doesn't try and take it back.
Chris Bailey run quite wide there on the exit of turn 1.
Ant's got past Wumax finally.
And so is Doris.
Now he's going to try and hunt down Saviour. Doris is also ahead of Chris Bailey in the standing, so Chris does not want him gaining too many places.
The yellow in sector 1 is...
It's Jackster. And has already caught right up to the back of Saviour here. And I think I saw Saviour run wide, and he may have got a warning for that.
Haggerboy in the pit is off for a new wing. I don't know.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I tell you what, I think these mediums are starting to come in now, because Wookie is right on this battle for 4th.
Yeah, he is. He's really closed up to Aldrich. And he's got a very good run out of that corner, but Aldrich just has that straight line set up.
Like you said, obviously we're at lap 7 now, so is this the crossover point for the soft mediums?
I think those soft tyres are going to be graining around now.
Because looking at some of these corner exits, it's definitely looking like he's got a bit more grip than Fabian.
Yeah, he definitely does. But Chris Bailey just cannot get the move done on Europel. He can close up, but just not quite get there.
Tell you what, as well, it only just looked like these top 5 like running on fumes of ERS now.
Yeah. Where are we? Ant is still not caught up to Saviour, but Saviour is starting to catch up to Airways, though. Which is interesting, because Airways is the one on mediums, but Saviour's closing the gap on those softs.
I'm surprised at Hodgson falling off the front 5, to be fair. 3.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because the front 5 have got that DRS train going. Obviously, maybe he just missed out on that. And
also, maybe his soft tyres are just really, really graining.
Aldrich Fabian also dropped out of the DRS zone now.
Is Chris Bailey going to get the move done here? He's very close. They're side by side. Has he got time to get it done down the straight? Yes, he does. But Europel literally pushed him around that corner. Chris Bailey takes the lead of the race for the moment. But he's got Kid Dynamite and Europel right up his chuff. You love that people use that now.
Chuff is such a fantastic word for the
It's
comms.
an amazing word. Oh, Europel's having massive issues!
These fights for this top spot is just getting so close.
Of course, Wookie's in the fight for a double championship this season. He's won the Tier 3, and he's still in contention for the MRC-X title, so he's going to be fighting very, very hard this week.
The rest of the field seems to have settled down a little bit, but this is anything but settled here now.
Yeah.
Hodgson's caught right up as well to the pack. Airways now 2 seconds behind Wookie.
Yeah, he lost out to Airways.
I said it might just be the grain of those soft tyres, because
I think it must be,
tyres seem to have dropped off as well.
Europel is gaining down the DRS straight, but doesn't have enough time. Wookie gets the move done on Aldrich Fabian. Looked like Aldrich was going to come back, but Wookie's managed to hold on for the moment.
The Rappel trying to come back as well. These gaps are insane at the top here.
It is all so tight.
Also, absolutely nothing between Ant and Doris down there for 9th and 10th.
Yeah. Saviour's got past Mark Hodgson now as well. Mark Hodgson is really struggling on those soft tyres.
Just not having a good race so far.
He's very, very twitchy as I jumped on board with Ant. And Doris is looking very, very pacey. Chucks up the inside again. But again, Ant manages to hold on.
He just can't get the traction down on the inside of that corner, can he?
It's very difficult to get a good exit if you chuck it up the inside of that corner.
It's brave how close these guys are following each other through that section.
Honestly, it's amazing that they're actually managing to follow that closely.
Rumax as well, obviously joined onto the back of this bottle as well in his mediums.
Yeah, he is.
Aldrich Fabian back past Wookie as well.
Ant gets the move on Mark. Is he going to close that gap to Saviour and potentially get a move done? His softs are not looking very nice around the uphill left-hander in the first sector. 3 seconds for Geke.
I really wish this game would give us like a screen so we could look at people's tyre wear.
I would love that. That would be so good.
Aldrich Fabian almost took himself out there on one of the sausage curves, going into the hairpin in sector 2.
Yeah, he got past Wookie at some point.
It was down the straight.
Ah.
There's definitely going to be a lot of DRS overtaking down there.
I wonder if the softs have just come out of their graining phase and they're going to start being a bit competitive again.
Quite possibly. It's looking a bit grey again.
It is, but I think we're going to avoid it just about for this sprint race.
But it means it's probably going to rain for the race.
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Is Europel going to be close enough to Chris Bailey?
There's a caution somewhere.
It's Jackster again, unfortunately. No, again, Chris Bailey can hold on. And gets past Saviour! But Saviour literally pushes him through turn 2. And they're side by side through turn 3. Saviour backs out. He's wanting some DRS. But Ant got a very nice exit. And he manages to hold on.
So Wumax is also going to catch Hodgson. Can he hold on to the end of this lap?
Yeah, Wumax is right on the back of Hodgson.
I think this could be it for the top 5. Don't quite think the Repel's got the pace left in the softs to make it back past Chris Bailey.
Yeah, it depends if he can get a run out of this corner, but it's not looking great. Has Chris Bailey done enough? He did get a nice exit, to be fair.
The Repel is so quick in a straight line.
He is, but Chris Bailey takes the win, followed by Europel and Kid Dynamite. Aldrich takes the win for the Challenger tier with Wookiee and Airways very close behind. Then it's Ant, Saviour. Doris will come next, but lose out to Mark Hodgson and Wumax because of a penalty.
Here comes the rain.
Here comes the rain. What timing. Followed by Loppy and Triz and G-Star, all very close together there again. Geke takes P15. Here comes Dino down in P16. Nice little recovery drive from Dino, to be fair.
Yeah, especially after that contact at the beginning.
Contact at the beginning, had to pit, and he's come back to P16, so can't turn your nose up at that.
I'm not sure if these people that are left to finish their laps are struggling with the bit of rain that's coming down.
Yeah, I think it might be getting quite moist quite quickly.
Single track seems to be struggling.
Yeah, you just can't keep it on the track. There's single track, there's Jackster, and Haggerboy and Jackster was so close over the line. But there we go. That is the sprint race. So, the finish of the sprint race, Chris Bailey took the win, followed by Europel and Kid Dynamite. Aldrich took the win for the Challenger tier, followed by Wookiee and Airways. Then you've got Ant, Saviour, Mark Hodgson, Wumax, Doris, G-Star Snipes, Loppy, Triz, Geke, Dino, Smit, Jackster, Single Track, and Haggerboy. I mean, based on that, do you have any early predictions for the race?
You know what? I don't want to try and predict anything because I think it's going to be wet. And I think it's going to change everything. If it's dry, I think we might see a bit of a repeat. Obviously, depending on what sort of strategies people go for.
Yep.
But I'm kind of hoping for a wet race just to like mix up this race now.
It would make it very, very interesting, wouldn't it?
Definitely, because it's just going to play into whoever's decided to set the car up for a bit of a wetter race. If it is a wet race, no, it's absolutely glorious.
Oh, that's disappointing. This game is just toying with us now.
Absolutely torrential at the end of qualifying, dry as anything for the race.
How utterly disappointing.
Sad times.
Well, we'll see what people want to do tyre-wise.
Well, as we discovered, the hards don't feel great. Maybe a nice medium, soft medium?
Yeah. I think that could work. I'd probably go for a 2-stop. Personally, I would avoid the hards completely and probably go medium, medium, soft for a 50% race. But I'm not 100% sure how long the mediums last is the issue.
I'm not sure, because it's quite a soft compound. Like when I was trying it the other day, they still wear fairly quickly.
The delta between the mediums and the soft does not seem that high, actually. So let's see what people have gone for. On the mediums, we've got Bailey, Dynamite, Aldrich Fabian, Wookie, Wombmax, G-Star, Geke, Dino, and Jackster. On the hards, Hodgson's been very brave and gone for some hard tyres around here. And on the soft, we've got Europel, Airways, Anton, Saviour, Doris, Loppy, Triz, Smith, Single Track, and Haggerboy.
To be fair, Hodgson does always like that alternative strategy of going for the hards.
He does. Hodgie is a man who loves the alternative strategy. And take the hards as long as he... Why did I not see that coming?
Yeah. It's possible race strategy yet again. The game thinks one stop, soft mediums or soft hard.
Soft hard, you could probably do in terms of tyre wear. In terms of drivability, I think I would want to die.
I think most people go from soft to hard, to be fair, so...
I mean, most, yeah. That's normally how it works.
But these medium runners are the kind of the outliers. How far I think the game is there any safety cars early on? How far can they take those mediums? And then that will just define how their race is going to go. The softs have sealed their fate. If there's a safety car early, they have to pick because there's just no other choice.
Yeah, they've got to go for the hard tyres. Or dedicate to the two-stop. Basically.
But have you seen any liveries you like yet, Simon?
Do you know what? I do actually like... I do like single tracks because I love a Jordan livery. Okay. I'm a sucker for a Jordan livery, basically. I also really like Ants, what he's done with the Portugal flag. What about you?
I've seen a couple, but I'm just going to see what it looks like in the nice shiny sunlight of Portugal before I make the decision.
So we've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are away. And Chris Bailey gets a very nice start on those medium tyres, but Kid Dynamite gets an amazing start. Chris Bailey manages to hold on.
How did Kid Dynamite get such a good start on those mediums there?
Saviour's down to P20. He's had a terrible start.
Yeah, it looks like he got caught up to something going into the turn 1.
Yeah. Aldrich Fabian's already out.
Safety car.
So when you were saying the soft runners do not want an early safety car.
Yeah, but is this too early?
It might be a little bit too early, yeah.
As far as, like, saving Chris Bailey's MRC-X chances, I mean, it couldn't be much better. Saviour is in 19th.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Bailey's a very happy boy, and Doris is down in P11. I mean, he's very happy with this so far.
Right, this should definitely be the perfect time to do some liveries.
Yes. So Chris Bailey's livery, which is basically a Portuguese flag. I prefer
nice.
Ant's attempt at it, though.
But I'm not a fan.
Which we'll get to. Kid Dynamite,
Airways.
World Car,
like
waste
Airways.
of time. Let's work through them in order, please. My goodness.
Too impatient for that stuff.
Europel is... I just don't know what it is. It looks like a Dutch flag, and we're in Portugal. I'm not a fan. Wookie has gone for purple, as I'm sure he does most weeks. We need him to mix it up a bit more.
It's
Airways.
a nice livery, I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But I prefer Airways. Airways livery is very nice.
Here comes Airways. We will have a look at him now.
I'm not sure if it is a preset, and if it is, that's cheating, but it is a nice livery.
It is a nice livery. I'll give you that. I like that livery. Very nice. And I really like his Portuguese flag. I think that looks really nice.
It is a nice looking car.
Mark H is purple.
I mean, he usually does put a show on for some of his liveries. I remember the absolutely luminous white and yellow one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was blinding. G-Star is using the World Car. Waste of time. Triz. It's black and white. So close to the Portuguese flag, there's no green. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that he literally missed one colour off the Portuguese flag. Loppy, has gone orange. He's gone Dutch because he's Dutch. I'm disappointed. I'm going to be brutal about these liveries. He's gone Dutch. We're in Portugal. That's not how it works.
Everyone knows the Orange Army just go everywhere, though.
I mean, they do. This is true. Now, Doris's livery I actually quite like. It's simple, but it's got a kind of old-style Williams feel to it.
Yeah, it does kind of look like an inverted BMW Williams.
Yeah, I quite like that. Dino. When I eventually get a decent look at it. Here it comes. It looks like... Oh, what's the name of those sweets?
You have to narrow this down for me, Simone.
They're, like lollipops, but they're chewy.
Like drumsticks?
Drumsticks! It looks like a drumstick. That is the vibe I get from those colours. Dino is driving a drumstick. Basically. You're enjoying this, aren't you?
This is fantastic descriptions of these. What do you think of Jackster's? Come on.
Jackster has taken the world car and inverted it, basically. And added a bit of red to the top. He's done what Ferrari did and taken a livery and put a bit of highlighter on the top of it.
Single tracks Jordan.
Single tracks Jordan. Now this, anyone who does a Jordan livery, if they've ever listened to a stream that I've lead comms on, knows that I love a Jordan livery. That's where mine and Chris's PSN name comes from. Hornet. The Hornet liveries.
Nah, you just copied off him because you were SGPR, so don't even go there, boyo.
Yeah, I changed because you made me. Geke. I get kind of Honda vibes from it.
It looks like it's Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, but like a really bad version. And the Alpha Tauri isn't great this year, so that's not a good thing. Safety car's in this lap. Oh, we've got to hurry. Smith. His car is black. And green. I like the green.
I like Smith's car, to be fair.
I like the lime green on it with a bit of purple. Well done. Haggerboy's got kind of Portuguese, but I prefer Ant, so that's out of the running. Saviour has a car that I can't see yet. Saviour's is... Oh, I like that. Black, gold and white. I like that. I can get behind that. And Womax, once it comes into vision, is a Portuguese flag, but it also kind of looks Hungarian. So, again, out of the running. So we will pick a livery of the day later on.
Go.
Chris Bailey's gone! And, oh, Kid Dynamite's really been caught sleeping there.
I know he's got Lirapel catching him down the straight. I'm not quite sure he'll have enough top speed without the DRS to catch him.
Also, Kid Dynamite is running an absolute bullet down the straight, so not much hope there, really.
Generally don't know how these guys drive some of these cars.
Honestly, it's mental, isn't it?
Oh, there's another yellow flag. Is that
It's Dino. The drumstick has spun round.
Oh, Womack's getting tangled up in...
Ooh, Mark H and Ant, but Ant holds on. Those hard tyres actually seem to be working alright for Mark so far.
I mean, him and Womack's both seem to be putting themselves in for the long haul on these hard tyres.
They do. They definitely do. Oh, Europel is right on the back of Kid. It's all very close at the top here. Can Kid Dynamite get the exit? He needs to, or he's going to be very much at risk from Europel here. Oh, and Europel's got the run.
Single tracks off the road as well. Not quite sure what happened to him there, but he's now down to 19th.
Chris Bailey holds on just about from Europel.
Saviour has not made as many moves as I thought he would off this restart. Up to 16th
No,
now.
he doesn't seem as confident at the moment, does he? Triz gets past Doris as well. Oh, they're 3 wide here. Doris makes a very nice move on Mark H on the outside there. But Mark's coming back, much more confident in the braking zone. But Doris gets a much better exit on those soft tyres.
He's just going to be losing out on all the traction zones, and unfortunately on Portugal, there is a lot.
There are a lot of traction zones, yeah. But Europel is looking very, very racy at the moment.
I mean, to be fair, he's got to make the most out of those soft tyres.
Yeah, he really has. Mind you, no, Chris Bailey's on the mediums, isn't he? Yeah. So does Chris Bailey fight this too hard, or does he just accept it and try to make it back later?
It's a tough one, because you don't really want to let Lirapel go, because he'll just be trying to pull a gap.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to burn out your mediums too soon.
And you don't want to waste all of your ERS too soon. Kid seems to have lost a little bit of pace. Europel gets the move done into turn 1.
I tell you what, those hard things were working for Wumax. He just makes his way past Jackster.
Yeah, he's making the move slowly, to be fair. Yeah, Chris just doesn't seem as confident on those medium tyres right now. Oh, as Wookie tries to send it up the inside of Kid Dynamite, but can't quite get the move done.
Yeah, again, you just don't want to push too hard too early on these mediums.
You really don't, because you will just absolutely ruin them.
Especially for how hot the temps seem to be getting around this track.
Yeah, the tyre temps are so high around this track. And I think the worry for Chris right now is that Doris seems to be quite racy. And he's a man who is sitting second in the championship at the moment, so Chris does not want him making up too many places.
Unfortunately, he's let Lirapel get a bit of a gap, though, up to 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, he has. He needs to stick in the DRS of Europel, otherwise he's going to be a sitting duck for Kid Dynamite.
Here we go, DRS open down to 0.4 of a second before turn 1.
So, I mean, Chris is still running a bit of a bullet down the straight, and a VSC. I think that was Smith. It was. He's got away without damage, though. Dino and Single Track have had to pit. This has played out quite nicely for Bailey, a VSC at this point. If it comes in before the end of the lap, then Europel will not get the chance to pit.
The front wing for Dino. But both Dino and Single Track going for the hards.
I think that's the sensible option at this point, to be honest.
They've just gone for a cheap pit stop, haven't they? But
yeah,
still brings them out, what's that, 16 seconds off the pack.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And we're racing again. Europel got a very nice restart out of the VSC. And Chris Bailey's out of the DRS. Can he get back in time? It's going to be tight.
Already back down to 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, I spoke too soon. Chris Bailey's brought it down nicely. Fair play. I think those softs are really graining now.
Well, like we said before,
mind you, there goes Kid.
Sailing past.
Beautiful exit onto the straight from Kid.
Chris Bailey played it super safe there, braked a little bit early so they could both make it through turn 1.
Very sensible driving.
There's just no point in trying to go side by side with anybody through turn 1 around this track.
No, that's just asking for a disaster. I think Geke's had a moment this time.
It looks like he's lost a couple of places down to 16th.
I was about to say that the front is the closest battle, but Hagboy and Jackster having a bit of a ding-dong.
You got Frizz, half a second off Mark.
Yeah, I'm not sure Mark's entirely enjoying those hard tyres.
Kid Dynamite. It's all over for Lirapel and made it. Oh, he almost made it through.
He's going to go for
Close
the exit
battle
here.
there.
Here he comes. Gets side
Ooh,
by
that was
side.
close.
Little bit of a kick, but manages to control it. Very nice. But here comes Europel.
The two of them.
Europel got the DRS.
He needed it there, to be fair.
He really did.
Chris Bailey definitely enjoying these two fighting for him.
I think Chris Bailey at this point is kind of happy to just sit back, let them battle, and hope he can pick up a scrap here or there.
It's worth watching the fight. A lot of the tracks, if somebody's fighting in front of you, it's always good to just leave just a couple of tenths. No point pushing. Wait for the mistake.
Yeah. Exactly that. And I mean, the man behind him is a challenger, so if he loses a place, he's not losing any points.
I think that gap between Chris to Wookie, that half a second, it's not too bad. It's not like Chris needs to push or defend at the minute. He just needs to try and keep this gap and just watch Kid Lirapel fight it out.
Yeah. Just stick on the back, stick in the DRS, and he'll be a happy boy.
Which is his kid just using up all his tyres, and
yeah,
Lirapel obviously just getting towards the end of the life of those softs.
Yeah, I'd say Europel's going to have to pit probably this lap, next lap, at latest the lap after that. Lap 11 would be latest, I would say.
Down the grid, looks like Jax is getting close to catching Haggerboy. G-Star getting close to the back of Doris.
He is. Kid can't get the move done with DRS though.
I tell you what, this game must be giving some nice track limit warnings, because I've seen people running a bit wide into turn one a few times with no time penalty.
Don't know how they're getting away with it so far, but I mean, fair play to them. Wookie's suddenly looking very, very competitive. He is right on the back of Bailey now.
Then we've definitely started to enter medium territory here.
We definitely have, yeah. Europel, I think, is going to really start to struggle over the next couple of laps.
Umax has already binned off those hards as well, which is quite surprising.
I guess he must have got damage or something, because that's a very odd time to go off the hards.
Oh, just go into the race director and have a look.
3 points for Haggerboy.
Yeah.
3 seconds, rather, not 3 points.
Front wing for Wumax there.
Yeah, there you go. I think Chris Bailey may have taken the life out of his mediums because he's struggling to get the exit onto the pit straight.
Yeah, again, this would just be a fantastic time for us to actually see what the tyre wear is.
Yeah, it really would, wouldn't it? See how different people are managing their tyres.
And just to see what the actual gap is between the softs and the mediums.
Yeah. I would say those softs must be on at least 45% by now.
Come on, Codemasters, we've been asking for this for years now.
Pull your fingers out and give it to us.
Fix your game.
I mean, that might be asking a bit much. We will get an F124, but I have zero faith in it being a good game.
Somebody spun there on the map.
I think it was Jackster? Yeah, it was Jackster.
It was Jackster.
Yeah, Chris Bailey's really struggling in that middle sector.
G-Star as well with the 3 seconds.
Yeah. Saviour's having a nice little fight back now, up to P11, make that P10.
Looks like he'll be aiming for P9 as well, with only a 3/10 gap to Lorpy.
Yeah, if he can get the exit here, then he could have P9 by the end of the straight. But Loppy does get quite a nice exit. But Saviour's coming back here. Has a much better second phase. It's those soft tyres, I think they are just absolutely falling off.
Yeah, I'm sure the the suggested stint for the softs is 13 or 14 laps.
Yeah,
So
I mean, they
definitely
must
getting to the
be
end of their
at
life.
55-60% by now, surely.
Don't call me Shirley.
Wait. Wookie's fallen off a bit as well. He's got a 1.3 second gap to Bailey now.
He's going to start dropping into the hands of Anton there.
I think Chris Bailey's come through his graining phase because he's looking much better through the middle sector now. I think that's probably what happened, is Kid and Europel were graining a lot earlier because of the fighting, and Chris Bailey just got caught out by a later graining phase.
That would make a lot of sense. And you can rejoin this fight a bit now.
Really rejoined this fight. He had a lovely exit onto the pit straight there.
Nice healthy dose of ERS.
Not quite enough to get anything done there, but he's sticking on the back nicely. Does Europel pit at the end of this lap?
I mean, I probably would, because I think this is going to start hurting his race now.
Yeah. And 20 laps on the hards is very, very reasonable if you can do 13 laps on the softs.
Or go for the two-stop.
Or go for the two-stop, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if there was a safety car at any point, this would save his life if there was one now.
It really would, wouldn't it? But then Kid Dynamite and Chris would pit as well at that point, I would think. So the race would completely level out and they'd be on even tyres.
I'm more thinking about where he's going to come out traffic-wise with whatever tyre he puts on, because I think it would roughly be about Lorpy Saviour.
Yeah.
Maybe G-Star.
Yeah, I think probably behind G-Star before Doris.
So
does he pit?
We're going to find fresher tyres, but there'll be a lot of traffic for him to fight through.
Yeah. He's not going to pit.
Obviously still happy with those dying softs.
And here comes Kid. He did get the exit that time. They're side by side into turn one. That was some very good driving.
Close.
Can Chris Bailey get a move done now?
How is anybody ever making the move from the outside of turn one and making it stick as well?
Oh, God! There goes Europel!
We did say it was going to start hitting his race.
And there's the moment.
Those tyres are toast.
Literally.
But now, the question is, does Chris start turning on the heat to try and get Kid?
If he's looked after his tyres better, then he'll have a bit of life left to do something with it. But, now that Kid's in clean air, his pace is looking really strong.
Yeah, gaps up to second, 1.1.
Yeah, I think it was more a case that Kid was just struggling with the dirty air, because he's looking unbelievable now.
This is why he was banned from racing for so long.
Yes. Surely Europel's going to dart into the pits now. Yeah, there he goes.
But Ant stays out on 14-lap-old softs. Anybody else that's going in? No air waste as well. I think some of these people are getting very brave on how long they think these tyres can go.
Listen, Ant, I cannot tell you how, but Ant can look after tyres like no one I've ever seen in my life.
Lorpy as well stayed out. Triz as well is the next, the last of the softs runners.
I think Doris is actually going to get past Europel in the pits. He is.
That moment cost Europel a lot of time, to be fair.
That's really ruined his race, unfortunately.
However, it was an absolute miracle that he saved it.
That could have very easily been into the wall, race over.
Also, I think he's aimed for the two-stop here now with the mediums on. Obviously not favouring those hards. Mark up to 6th on his, 14 laps on those hards.
Unless he thinks if he can take the softs 14 laps, he can take the mediums 18.
Maybe. But I'll tell you what, this should technically be the part of the race for people like Mark that have set up for the long first stint.
Yep. Mark will start getting places as these people at the front start to pit. Kid Dynamite is catching up to Smith now.
Airways in pits. Yeah, Kid's definitely put party mode on. He's off, isn't he?
Yeah, he is gone. I think Chris Bailey will be happy with a P2.
I mean, Xavier is challenged up to 5th now, so...
He's fighting back, to be fair. He needs to have a pretty flawless end to the race at this point, though.
I'm very surprised at how much grip Anton still has.
Yeah, Ant's doing really, really well on those softs.
After that moment that we saw from Irapel, it is very surprising that this car is still going as well as it is.
Yeah, literally. Is he going to pit the same lap as Bailey on the mediums? That's the question.
I mean, if he tries to take them past where the medium runners think they can take mediums, then he must be some kind of tyre whiz.
He is an absolute tyre whisperer. Can confirm. I've seen him pull stints that are just unbelievable.
The Alex Album.
Yeah, and Ant stays out again.
16 laps on these softs, they must be awful.
That is unbelievable.
60-odd%.
Easily, if not approaching 70.
Gap up the front now to 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, Kid's just flying away now.
Irapel putting on the fastest lap.
Yeah.
Not giving up.
He's gonna be fighting back if he possibly can. He's closed the gap to Doris. Thing is, Chris Bailey and Kid Dynamite now do not want to be undercut by Irapel. And if he's got that much pace, they're gonna want to pit before too long.
Let's see how much longer they're going to leave it, because I think they're going to start messing up their own races if they leave it too late.
I wonder if they want to switch to the softs. Because they're well past the point of hard tyres now on lap 17 of 33.
Where would you take these mediums to go to the softs? Would you go for their...
20?
You'd be aiming for something like 2021.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just not pitting.
Oh, Kid's in the pits.
Oh, Kid has bailed. How long is Chris Bailey going to wait? Ant stays out on the softs again. This is an insane stint from Ant.
I think it's Smith there. The ghost car in front of Chris. Hopefully it doesn't put him off too much.
What's Kid gone for? He's going for the hards. Yeah, Smith gets out of the way. Chris has 16 seconds to save you. So he's going to lose out, but not by too much.
I think that gap is getting really close for whether he can come out front of Irapel.
It's getting very, very tight. Does Chris dedicate to trying to go for softs? Or does he cave now and just chuck those hards on?
Guess we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, as he's about to come onto the pit that's not really a straight because it's got a big curve in it.
Close enough, it's a flat out. Right, and
yeah. Is Chris going to pit? He's not.
Nope,
he's dedicating for the soft tyres, and Ant stays out again!
He's crazy.
This is mental. But Saviour's not closing the gap to Ant at all. Which is crazy.
It's unbelievable, Jeff.
It's unbelievable. In fact, I think Ant is even slightly extending on Saviour. Irapel is just going mad. There goes Mark Hodgson into P3. Owen runs extremely wide. Never mind, he does not get P3. In fact, loses out to Irapel.
I think even for me, it might be starting to struggle on those hards. They probably didn't feel great in the beginning, so...
Which is mental to think that he's struggling on those hards and Ant is still going on those softs.
I honestly don't understand how, because they must feel awful.
Irapel gets past Saviour. He's just flying now. Chris Bailey is in... I don't know what he's going to do at this point now. He's got to dedicate to the softs in order to gain that time back, I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to be trying to get to the softs now. I mean, Anton has proven it. It's possible. I mean, he's kept pace with the mediums. I honestly can't work out in my mind how he's done it, but he's proved it's possible.
Yeah. Mark Hodgson's gone. Bailey stays out again, and Ant stays out again. This is just mental.
20 laps on those softs, it seems impossible.
It does, but here is Ant proving that it is possible.
It must be something in his setup, because that's seriously impressive.
That is unbelievable. I mean, he must not be running too much downforce for a start, because that'll kill your tyres. But obviously not so low that he's oversteering everywhere.
Imagine Hodgson's just going to go for some mediums to get to the end now.
Or is he going to go for the softs? Maybe? No, he's gone mediums.
There's a couple of people still on the first set of tyres.
Yeah.
See, we've got G-Star, Geke, Jackster. So there's a few people who have gone for like quite the long stints.
Yeah. But Europel is closing that gap at a rate of knots now.
I mean, he has set like 3 or 4 fastest laps, one after the other.
Surely Chris Bailey's going to pit this lap for the soft tyres.
I mean, you'd like to think so.
He'd be crazy not to. Oh, no, never mind. He's crazy. And Ant stays out as well, just because why not? And even gets DRS on Bailey this time.
I think now it is, they're starting to hurt their race. They've lost 2 seconds to Repel.
Yeah. I would say he's going to pit this lap. He's just dedicated to the time loss, and he's trusting that he's going to make it back on the softs. Because Saviour's starting to lose out now. And the person Chris didn't want to come back in this race, Doris, is coming back now as well.
Yeah, so he's 13.5 seconds back to Repel, 17 seconds to Doris. He's definitely going to come up behind them now.
He's going to come up behind Kid.
Last lap.
Yeah, Saviour's got to pit again, so he's safe from Saviour for the moment. But he's got a lot of work to do on his second stint.
No pressure.
No pressure, Chris. Good luck. We'll see what happens. Kid Dynamite is right up the back of Doris now as well. What tyres is Doris on? He's on 10-lap-old mediums, so he might struggle to take those to the end, you know. I think he's going to have to stop again.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. If it would be a push to get him to the end, then here comes Chris into the pits.
That would be 23 laps on a set of mediums. It would be pushing it. So let's see how far back Chris Bailey comes out into this race.
Here comes Irapel down the main straight.
Saviour's probably going to pit this lap. Yeah, in goes Saviour. G-Star stays out.
I think Doris could have done with pitting though, to be fair.
He's being undercut by quite a few people. And followed him in, Saviour's gone in.
Lucky with a 3-second time penalty. I definitely think Doris could do a pit in the next few laps to put some softs on.
Yeah, I think so. Because there's a 21-second gap between Saviour and Wumax. Which is, it's not going to be 21 seconds. No, so Saviour's lost out to Wumax. He might just come out ahead of Mark Hodgson, but it's going to be so close. Oh, he defended very, very hard there, but Mark is going to have some tasty DRS.
Now we're just going to see how much Chris is going to take out onto these tyres in these first couple of laps to close the gaps onto Airways.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got more pace than Anton now on those medium tyres.
I'd like to say he's going to have the most pace of all the tyres-wise out of the top 6 there.
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
I mean, I would like to think so, yeah.
Mind you, no, he's taken 0.2, 0.3 out of Airways already.
I think the bit he's going to struggle with is the fact that Airways are going to have DRS.
Yeah. Airways gets past G-Star. Doris loses out to Wookie. And this is what Chris Bailey needs now, is Wookie to hold up Doris a little bit for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Which, I mean, it should be not too much of an unfair fight with 5-lap old hards versus 12-lap mediums.
Yeah.
It's just whether by the time when Chris catches Kid, whether he'll have enough life left in those softs to fight the hard tyre.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think he left it a few laps too late, but he is closing that gap to G-Star at a rate of knots now, down to 2.1. Closed definitely over a second this lap.
Definitely needs to get it within DRS.
It's down to 1.7 now. Does G-Star need to stop?
Yeah, he's on 22 lap old mediums.
Oh yeah, G-Star needs to stop.
Oh boy.
Oh golly gosh, I think he's actually got the DRS, you know.
He got within 0.6 of a second. G-Star stays out. How?
Why? Through goes Bailey. And it won't be long till he catches up to Airways DRS now. Bailey may yet make this work, you know. He's looking very racy.
So much grip now.
That's the thing, when you're on tyres that have been that old, you get onto a fresh set of soft and they're just like, grip. Because it's all fairly spread out in the top 6 now. There's no DRS train. So Chris Bailey has the opportunity to just make this one move at a time on those tyres.
And so all he's got to do now is just beat everybody in the traction zones. That's going to be his best place to close everybody down.
Well, he's got Airways down to 0.9 now. Make that 0.8. Make that 0.7. His traction is just, it's a different level now compared to everyone else.
To be fair, that section of corners there should definitely be the bread and butter for the soft tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. And Airways, it looks like, has just missed out on DRS, so Chris Bailey will say thank you very much. Yeah, look at that exit traction, it's just unbelievable.
Okay, bye.
And a fastest lap for Mr. Bailey, but I'm pretty sure you don't get a point for fastest lap in MRC-X.
He's going to get some more DRS now off Doris.
Yeah, he's making the moves quickly now. This is exactly what he needed to do. But Doris is a bit of a bullet in a straight line, so it's not going to happen that quickly. He just doesn't want to take too much life out of those tyres. Kid Dynamite is not catching up to Europel.
I tell you what, the quite surprised is that Anton hasn't followed Chris through with these in his fresh tyres. He's still struggling to get past G-Star.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the delta's different when the track is no longer green. Mind you, there goes Anton G-Star.
You would have thought it would have been a pretty simple pass, 3-lap old mediums versus 24.
Yeah, to be fair, that is a big delta difference. Here comes Chris Bailey on Doris. Lining himself up perfectly. Oh my gosh! That traction is just unbelievable. But look at the straight line speed of Doris!
Chris has got his DRS.
He's got DRS and he still can't do anything! Doris is pushing him very tight. And then runs very wide. How are these people not getting penalties?
I'm not sure, because that was very wide.
That was very wide. Very nice exit from Bailey there. He's been forced to the outside, though.
I just don't think he can do it with the straight line speed that Doris has
got. But that exit... He can get the exit, but Doris just immediately comes back. Oh, look at that traction difference there, though. What a move from Bailey.
It's round in the final corner, is it?
But that's really hurt Chris, who is now 3.9 seconds off of Wookie. Oh, make that 3.3.
Yeah, I don't think that fight with Doris helped his charge to the front, but...
It's really, really hampered his race there, unfortunately. But Doris is already out of DRS range.
Yeah, but the straight line speed he's got is ridiculous.
And not that it's going to hurt him that much. He's got it back down to 0.9 without DRS.
My question at the minute is, when is G-Star going to pit? 26 laps on those mediums.
Yeah, he's got to pit at some point, and Saviour's just sitting very nicely, just waiting for him to pit.
Yeah, that 13.5-second gap just doesn't really seem to have come down at all.
No. He does seem perfectly happy on his very, very, very old tyres. Chris Bailey is bringing that gap down, but not as quickly as I thought. Kid Dynamite, however, has closed that gap to Europel right down.
I wonder if Europel is going through graining, maybe 12 laps on those mediums.
Yeah, I think that probably sounds about right. Kid Dynamite's going to be happy on his hards where they are right now.
Chris Bailey, as of next lap, will be getting close to his graining phase.
Yeah.
Down to 2.6 seconds now to Wookie.
I don't think Doris is going to stop again, you know. At this point.
I mean, he should comfortably make it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, how old are his tyres now? I mean, he's on 17 lap
laps.
old mediums.
Oh, there goes G-Star into the pits. 26 laps done.
I mean, that is an unbelievable stint on mediums. Credit where it's due.
If you can't do that on Monday, then you're sacked.
I can tell you right now, you can sack me then, because that is absolutely not going to happen.
Sacked. Done.
Okay, moving on. Oh well.
Chris would do it.
We both know that's a lie. He would pirouette by lap 4. You said Chris would be nearly in DRS range at the end of this lap, but he is not closing that gap right now.
And he's down to 2.3.
He is closing it, but really not as much as he would be hoping. Because he's got to get past Wookie, and then he's got to close down to Kid and Europel.
That's the task there. It's that 4-second gap now between Wookie and Kid.
Unless one of them gets a penalty, I'm not sure Chris is going to be in much hope of getting better than 3rd place.
Which is crazy that Europel's come back from that moment.
Yeah.
To still be finishing on the podium.
And possibly winning the race if he can hold on. Those hards are going to grain at some point. He's just got to hold on till that point.
But that gap is coming down. 0.3 of a second now between Kid and Europel.
Trouble is, that DRS straight is just a waste of time. You don't achieve anything.
But this gap for between Kid and Wookie, though, is getting slowly bigger, so Chris's task is just getting worse and worse to catch up.
But Chris Bailey is going to have the added advantage if he can close that gap a little bit of getting some DRS from the back marker.
Tell you, another person that's under pressure is Doris from Anton.
Oh, he is. Anton's come right back into this race all of a sudden. Oh, the brake marker for me is gone. So I would be just in a terrible position at this point in the race.
I wish they'd just ghost the brake markers or something so they can never be taken out.
That would make life so much easier, wouldn't it? But alas, you have to have physical brake markers as well as the actual braking boards. Europel's lost out to Kid Dynamite, but he's coming back! That was an excellent comeback from Europel there.
This is what Chris needs. Chris needs these two to absolutely battle it out now till the end to close that gap. Well, the gap between him and Wookie's just not coming down. We're down to 1.7 seconds now.
Yeah, Smith dove into the pit, so I'm not sure if Chris will have actually got any DRS off of him. I think Chris might be starting to struggle on those softs just a smidge.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's quite got the pace that he did at the start.
No. But he's in P3, so he'll get 18 points. Saviour's in P8, so he's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the elite tier. So has Chris Bailey clawed back enough points today to still be in the championship battle is the question. I'm going to try and do some quick maths while there's not a whole lot happening on stream. I will jump to Kid Dynamite while I look at this.
This should be awful. Simon's quick maths.
So the gap is 33 points. Bailey's going to get 15, which would take the gap down to 18. But in 6th place, that means Saviour is going to get... How many points do you get for 6th place? 5?
Not sure.
Let's quickly Google, because this is where my F1 knowledge comes undone.
Other search engines are available.
Yes. 6th in F... How many points for 6th in F1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gets 10 points. So if it stands as it is, the gap will be 28 points going into the final race.
That's a lot of points.
In fact, that's... unfortunately, more than Chris Bailey can possibly claw back.
Yes.
So if it stays as it stands, Chris Bailey has unfortunately lost the title.
Well, at least he's got a bit of a second win and has almost caught Wookie.
Yeah, his tyres have definitely come back to him. No, you get 8 points, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you get 8 points.
So close at the front.
So it would be... The gap would be 26 points.
Lopey out the race. Not quite sure what happened there.
Oh! I'm not sure at all, but we're not going to get a safety car at this point.
Looks like he crashed on the exit coming down the hill.
So what Chris needs is Saviour to spin.
These two to take each other out.
Or that. Europel gets 3 seconds, though.
It's so close between these two at the top.
Chris Bailey needs to close the gap and close it very, very quickly now that Europel has got 3 seconds.
Whoa. Yeah, I think Europel's just starting to lose a bit of grip now. That gap's come almost to a second there.
Ooh. This is going to be a very, very interesting end to the race. Yeah, Europel, his tyres are gone. The gap is 3.9 to Wookie. 1 lap left to go. Can Chris Bailey snatch a 2nd place and still be in the running?
He's going to get DRS as well.
But Wookie's still not closing that gap. Europel's losing out to Kid, but Europel is not losing out to Wookie.
Somebody spun in sector 2.
It's Airways. Or no, it's not them. I'm not sure who it is.
You can't just start making things up, Simon.
Look, we both know I can. And very regularly do.
Also, can Doris catch Airways on this last lap as well? Oh, that's getting close there.
I think Chris Bailey's going to be stuck in P3, unfortunately. Europel has no pace on Kid Dynamite, but the gap's just not coming down enough to Wookie and Chris. Unless Europel really loses it here.
You said it now. Pirouettes come out of the last corner.
The gap's 3.7, 3.6. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. Chris Bailey will jump Wookie on penalties, but not Europel. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Chris Bailey gets 15. Saviour, by the looks of it, will keep his position, and by my maths, which, let's be honest, is not infallible, I think Xavier may be taking the title today. Another one that was just so close for Chris Bailey. He'll be so gutted with that. He just waited a lap too late to pit.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was only a lap, but
yeah,
he lost like 2 seconds. And that 2 seconds could have gotten so much closer to Wookie.
Yeah, well, he'd have, with 2 seconds, the gap is 0.9 at the end of the race, so that 2 seconds would have got him P2. And he'd still be in the championship battle. Oh, that's so unfortunate. G-Star DNF'd, I missed that one.
That's because you're deaf.
Yes, and blind. What is your point? And the drumstick comes 15th. But there we go, that was a very, very exciting end to that race. We will have a quick look at the podium celebrations with Kid Dynamite on the top step, sorry. Followed by Europel and Chris Bailey, of course. But there we go. So, your finishing positions. Kid Dynamite takes the win, followed by Europel and Chris Bailey. Wookie takes the win for the Challenger tier, followed by Anton, Airways, Doris, Aldrich Fabian, Xavier, Mark, followed by Womack, Single Track, Triz, Geke, Hagaboy, Dino, G-Star, Jackster, Smith, and Loppy. So I think, provisionally, Xavier is the MRC-X champion for about the 77th season in a row. Congratulations to him if my maths is correct.
More importantly, who was the livery of the day?
Ooh. It's between Ant and Single Track for me.
For me, I was going to vote Airways.
You're going to vote Airways. I think I'm going to go Ant, actually. I do love a Jordan livery, but I always go for a Jordan livery, so I'm going to be different. I really liked Ant's Portuguese livery. I really liked it.
I know, you only mentioned it a few times during the stream.
Do you know what? I don't recall asking for your opinion, actually, so, you know. Thank you all in the YouTube chat for joining us tonight. We have one race left in MRC-X this time next week. But before that, on Monday, the Tier 2 boys will be taking to Portugal at 7 PM. Thank you for joining me in the YouTube chat. And thank you for joining me, Stoob. It has been a hot minute.
It sure has.
And we hope that you will be back on comms very soon.
No, I'm going back into hibernation now.
You've seen me for a week. I'm done. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you all for joining us. We hope to see you at 7 PM on Monday for Tier 2 and 8:45 for Tier 1. Good night.